Mhm. All right, what's up, Migo like geeks and freaks? Let's get a little. Yes, there it is. Dee 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 dee. I did that. That's right. That's right. All right, let me put some of the stuff up in here. Tag it up. Thank you to David Gunn for the very cool logo up in the top right banner, and this one as well. So we've got quite a few. Yeah, that's one that somebody did for me years ago, and I just happened to modify slightly. Okay, so here we go. So again, to all you guys that are new to Migo like, welcome. We are an open group. We love having new people join. We love that there's more things, more people to talk about, collections, speak about what you like, enjoy. You could speak about pretty much anything, TV programs and stuff. Try and keep it related to the theme of the group, which is really toys more than anything Migo. I think a lot of people are kind of turned off by some of the goings on in the last 3 years or so with the return of New Migo, or as they call it, just Migo. It's not New Migo. It's definitely not the same company it was when we were kids, regardless of who's in it. And I think people are just happy to come in here and be able to voice their opinion without getting trashed, piled on, kicked out, comments removed, or treated like lesser than a human being, which is what we don't want. So we want everybody to be able to talk. We want you guys to go ahead in there and speak and post your opinions, your comments, all that stuff. And we're very happy to have you guys. All right, so let's get on to the show. Got a damn good show today. Yes. All right. So I'm going to show you what I was very excited to get. This came so fast. I think I bought this the day before yesterday. It's pretty big. It came the day before yesterday. I was so excited. It came out of a guy's personal collection that he's had for, he told me, over 40 years. So, and the toy itself is about 50 years old. So let's get it open and see how it is. He was a really nice dude. He actually said, I just really want to go to a good home. He goes, I have such a big collection. I don't know where to put all this stuff anymore. I figure it's time to sell some stuff. And he's been picking some stuff off the sell. Not only that, but for the price that I paid for this thing, the thing alone goes for way more than that. And then he was kind enough to throw in an extra in there, which I was just like, the buy it now price was so low. I said to the guy, do you want to make any money on this? He's like, I really just need to get rid of some stuff. I was like, okay, because I see it going for way more. So let's get it open and let's see what we have. If you guys are watching in Migo Like on Facebook, that's fine. I can't quite see your comments right now because my application won't let me see them unless you guys accept them. You're on YouTube. All right, hang on. So Nair and Kavora, or Nair is actually reading. Is it not posting there? One sec. He says he's watching on YouTube and he's not seeing it. I could have sworn it was there. Let's go to YouTube. Give me a sec, guys. I haven't done this in a while. I've actually been doing lives from my phone. What the hell is this crap? Oh my God. Sometimes I hate the internet. I really do. Sometimes I really hate it. All right, give me a sec. Let me see what we got here. Let me see if I can get Nair hooked up. My channel, videos. Let's see. Is it not there? Huh. Maybe it's not showing up there. Maybe it's only on Facebook right now. Son of a gun. That's all right. It looks like it might only be on Facebook now. No, it's there. It's there. Oh, it's private. Why is it? What? Why is it private? Okay. Let me publish that. Okay. Sorry. It was private accidentally. Delete. How about now? Okay. I'm not even sure what number of video this is. I have to be honest with you because I was pumping videos out left and right. It looks like, jeez, man, we're like way over. I don't know. We're somewhere up in the high 80s, maybe almost 90 videos now, which is pretty cool. So hopefully you guys are tuned into YouTube, can see it as well. I see people on Facebook. All right, so let's get the box open. Let's see what's going on there, and let's see what is happening. All right, what's in the box? Oh yeah, he really taped this up good. Jesus, he told me give it a good home. Please take care of it. I said, man, of course I am. I've never had one of these when I was a kid. and I'm so excited to get this thing. Oh, wow. He really packed this thing up good. This guy packed this thing like ridiculous. He did a really good job. All right, hang on. Yeah, he really packed this up. Wow. His last name was Spielberg? Oh, no, somebody from Spielberg sent it to him. Okay. What the hell is that? Wow. All right. Okay. Well, this is just a piece of paper. And we added another wing to the old Toy Room of Solitude. For those of you guys that are paying attention, we spread some toys out. You can see some of the stuff behind me already changed. I took most of the Big Jim stuff that was out and moved it there. Moved it to another side. It's been changed. Give it some more room in a safer spot. I didn't really like it up there. Okay, first of all, I see something loose rattling around. Okay. I'm not sure what... Okay. This is not Hasbro. I don't know what this is. This is a knockoff boot of a 12-inch figure. I don't think he meant to send that. I think that just wound up in the package. All right. Let's see what else is in here. Lots of popcorn. Yeah, he did a good job packing this thing up, man. He really did. He did a great job packing this up. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yep. And here's the other busted ass boot. This is some knockoff boot. I don't know what it is, but they're broken. They're ripped in the back. If anybody's interested in extra parts or knockoff stuff to make some customs or something, they're there. Holy shit. Okay, so he told me the box edges are worn, and they are. I guess a little bit I could see from here, and I did see in the pictures, but I'm looking at the box inside the box. You can't see it right now. And I'm going to tell you, for a box that's 50 years old or more, let's see, what are we? Actually, it's more than that. I think it's 64, 66, right? Yeah. So it's 50-year-old box. This box is badass. All right, let's see what we got. And like I said, he threw in an extra. Give me a second to get it out because I just want to be careful getting it out. This came in several versions. I am not an expert on these. I have joined groups since then to help increase my knowledge, and have also asked for the assistance of fellow Joe collectors Danny Gates and Brian Sanchez, who are some pretty serious Joe collectors. Okay, so make sure did he pack anything else? Okay. All right, so I think I got everything out. All right, so let's take a look at this because I want to get this box out of the way. Okay. So I'm getting text messages from Nair. If you guys watch Nair and Kavora, Starpod Starlog, if you're not checking it out, or Star Trek, or Starpod Log, or Starpod Trek. And we've been very lucky to do quite a few of these. Max Overnighter, or Maximus Overnightus, Dr. Durant, or aka Richard the Hurler Hurley. And we've done a few, and we have a few more coming up. So if you guys are going to tune into them, but definitely check out their pod. It's fantastic. Their podcast is fantastic. All right, so here's what we got. The box is actually, this guy said, "Oh, it's worn." It is a little worn, but looks like it's probably doesn't look 50 years old. I'll tell you that. All right, so here's what we have. Let's see if I can bring this up. G.I. Joe official space capsule, an authentic jumpsuit featuring soundtrack, recording, and first American orbital space flight. G.I. Joe pilot not included. They did make a version, if I'm correct, where the pilot was included. This is the original first edition of this. It's the original first edition of this. So it comes with the floating space capsule, the sliding canopy, the control panel, the retro pack, the communications plug-in, the authentic spacesuit, the astronaut helmet, space gloves and boots, soundtrack recording of actual Mercury flight. G.I. Joe pilot not included. By Hasbro, scaled to fit G.I. Joe. This box is actually, that's the top. This is what he's saying is worn. That's as worn as it gets right there. For a 50-year-old box, this box is not even like, if you ever get old boxes, like, and they sit through the humidity and the heat of being in people's attics and basements and so on, the box and the paper starts to get brittle, right? It almost gets ready. You just touch it and it turns to dust. I had that happen on a Topper Tiger tank box. It just fell apart. I was so pissed because the guy he let it go inside. He let the tank inside, which weighs fucking, I don't know, 10 pounds. I don't know, 5 pounds. It just rattled in there. The thing was not well wrapped and so on. Here we are right here. Spacesuit made in Japan. G.I. Joe action pilot, 1966 G.I. Joe. So do the math. We're about 50 years on that. Let's see what's inside. What this guy did, which was really cool, is there was no figure included with it. But he turned around and he gave a figure. He put it in the auction. He goes, I'm going to give you a figure with it. You guys a better look. He goes, I'm going to give you a figure with it, free of charge. It's a painted head Joe. Okay, so the box had a little bit of tape to kind of keep the flaps on the inside. No harm, no foul. Right there, the original instructions, space capsule. He's got them. I am not taking them out. They're in a nice Ziploc bag. I'm not taking them out because this is from 1966, and paper back then had a lot of acid in it, which is why it turns yellow. And or sometimes one of your friends will pee on it, but it turns yellow and starts to eat at it. So we have to be careful. So old books, you see, they start to yellow. It's the acid in the paper that causes that, which sucks. All right, so I'm not quite sure I'm going to show you guys this thing on the inside, so I'll do my best. Okay, so let's see. And then when we get done with this, I'll show you guys some model toys, Daredevil figures. No, not the Marvel superhero, but the actual kind of their version of a 10-inch Action Jackson, if you will. Okay, so he really did a good job wrapping everything. This looks like the helmet. Let me get this out of here carefully. If you guys don't collect G.I. Joe, that's cool. Nothing wrong with that. I haven't really started collecting until recently. And if you only collect modern G.I. Joe, that's cool too. And if you only collect the little G.I. Joes, that's fine as well. I actually happen to have a couple 3 3/4 figures. If anybody is interested in them to trade or sell, I don't collect them. I have Cobra Commander and I have Destro with the weapons in his backpack. So pretty cool. All right, give me a sec. Let's get this together because this is some badass shit. Oh, sorry. Here comes all the messages. Oh, sorry. I'm not looking at them. Hello, Dr. Durant. Ah, there we got. Is that Kavora on there? That's got to be Kavora on there because I see the picture. Got to wipe the Carvel ice cream cake off your chin. That's true. That's true. I was eating a cookie puss, and it would have been a cookie opus, but it was only cookie puss because we can't get them until St. Paddy's Day. Now, if I lived in good old Ireland, I'll tell you, laddie, you probably could get yourself a cookie puss all year round. That was more Scottish, I think, or neither. All right, so let's see what's in here. Okay, yeah, he really wrapped this well. All right, so here's our helmet. That's really didn't come out right. I know it's hard to see, but very few scratches on it. Still operates very well. Here is so this piece here, which has two little, I don't know if it's two little plugs on there. It's hard to see. You can see if I put it behind. And then they actually connect on the side of this helmet. There's two holes there for it, but I'm not even gonna, do I dare? I dare. Okay, and there we go. All right, we're gonna go really easy with this. Remember, this is an antique. More antique, and I don't know. By the way, I was browsing the web the other day, and somebody told me about no, I'm not going to even do it. Forget it. I'm going to leave it out. We'll do that another time. All right, let's even get this out. Wow. You guys don't realize how excited I am for this. I'm just recently kind of a G.I. Joe collector, if you will, as I'm taking the piece out, and that just kind of slid on me. Let's be careful there. Thank God it was just cardboard. So recently a Joe collector and starting to really enjoy it. This is something I never had as a kid, and I see G.I. Joe guys with these things all the time. I even saw the remake. Even the remake, it goes for a fortune. I have to be very careful. Put this someplace good. The remake goes for a fortune. The original goes for even more of a fortune. Okay, here's a spacesuit, which, okay. So Gate, Sanchez, I'll take it out so you guys can see it. So this is like a suit. It's basically, I don't know what it's covered in, but it looks like it's covered in tinfoil. And I have another one that I came in another set just randomly. And what happens is the silver just starts to peel off the suit. Let's see if I can show you guys that. This one is absolutely unpeeled. It's great shape. I'm not going to even take these out, but the gloves and the boots are in here. Also, Yeah, it's kind of tough with the light. Tinfoil. Yeah, you can't see that. Can we do that? Tinfoil stuff. Hard to say. Anyway, it's in there, as a used to say in the old pasta commercials. All right. Here's the space capsule, which I love. I thought, it's decent size. I always thought these things were so damn big because the boxes are pretty big, and I don't know where I'm going to store this. I'll have to do another live in a few minutes after this with my phone and walk the room to show you guys, because I have no idea where I'm going to store this. So here's the capsule, which is really cool. Bottom sliding canopy. I believe it goes this way. Yep. Slides left to right. The controls. Wow, man. Unbelievable. I know this is going to be hard to see, but if you look inside, the belts are still, I'm not going to even mess with that. Those are the belts. Here's where he sits in there. Let's see. There's the control panel. A little bit, just over age, sticker starts to get a little crazy, but it's just great shape. And even this is very minimal scratches. My God. And then you get your G.I. Joe, goes inside. Now, Danny Gates had told me that there's a guy who makes a stand for this, I guess so you can stand it and put it on a shelf, which I'll have to look into that. What else is in here? Oh, funny you should ask. So here's the sleeve that helps hold it in, and inside you'll see the record in here. I'm going to have to get an adapter so we can try and play it and see how it looks or how it sounds, but this is really cool. Introduction to Manned Mercury Spaceflight, Side 1. Introduction to Man. Yellow vinyl record from back in the day. And then on the other side is the actual Mercury spaceflight communications. We're going to have to play this. Sorry, it's getting played. Getting played, player. All right. Then he also was good enough to include this G.I. Joe. And I'm going to tell you guys what I paid for it in a minute. Did you say $799? No. $699? No. $599? No. For the low price, as I got to watch all this stuff. That's just cruel. I just saw Hurley's comment. Did you open the cement line yet? I broke it apart with a jackhammer. I learned how to do a jackhammer. Use a jackhammer over the weekend, which sucks. Hello, Sanchez. Yush. I put in a comic book bag and board. That's an excellent idea there, Kavora, is to get into a comic book bag and board. I have that. And thanks to Rich Hurley and some of the guys we talk about in the Lick, who have kind of clued me in on the whole comic book thing with boards and stuff. So I did buy a few of those. Now you can pretend, very nice. Now you can pretend the space program was real. That has to be David Alexander. David Alexander, the space program was real. Come on. You don't believe all that conspiracy shit, do you? Browsing inflatables. Welcome to the Lick. There you go. It's waiting for Mr. Maximus overnight or somebody to bring that up. So that's what I guess I should have said before is there's a certain corduroy pony out there that's using Migo like all over his stuff, and I guess that's so he can drive attention to him, because the original Migo like and all the original knockoff sites for non-fighting Furies and G.I. Joes and stuff like the Tomlins and all the weird shit was put up back in the day by yours truly when it was MigoLike.com. Now I think there's a Chinese gambling / porn site company that got the domain. And so I guess if you use Migo Like and all your stuff, eventually you will try and drive all the people that watch Migo Like, which I can't imagine how many there are, because I don't think it's that many, into your thing. So we're going to be going by the Lick from now on. This is the Lick. And like I said, everybody that's coming up with these names, they're just fantastic. You guys are doing a phenomenal job. So welcome to the Lick. You can still call it Migo Like. It's still Migo Like, but it is welcome to the Lick. Oh, you think he just wants to be friends again? Yeah. Sanchez, my record player did not come with adapter. You had to put a cable, and I have it's a USB powered, so I have the cable. I have the adapter over there to run it. But no, I don't think he wants to be friends again. I think we'll just kind of leave it as he likes to get pictures of other people's stuff to sell, possibly his magazines, and then after that he kind of shits all over them. So we're not going to go there. All right, so here is our painted headed Joe that the gentleman sent. This is an original. This is not some 2000 version. This is an original. He does suffer from a stress crack in the knee and one of the arms, which are very common from what I understand, though I've seen, but I'm not an expert, like I said. But I've come to learn from some of the guys that very, very common with these toys as they get older with the plastic. He does, yep, they got his, yeah, it's fantastic. Like they got the whole weird hands thing going on and so on. So he included this Joe and this flight suit at no extra charge. So I know shopping GI Joes and what I've seen is I've been very fortunate. I got some really good stuff, very, very cheap, but the average price on these things probably is somewhere between, I don't know, what'd you say, Gates or Sanchez, somewhere between 65, 75 and 100 and something maybe, I'm guessing. And the capsule with the box in that good a shape and the record, because usually the record's missing or forget it, man. Forget it. I've watched that thing. I'm looking at that thing on eBay going through the roof, like way more. So he gave me all of this on the buy it now the day before yesterday it was, I think I told you guys. And he lives in Delaware, so it's literally like a 1.5 hour drive here for $150. $150 for everything you saw, all original from his private collection and so on. And I haven't had a painted Joe. I had 2 painted Joes years ago and sold them. And these are just fantastic. This is my first original action figure was G.I. Joe. I remember, sorry, my contact lens drive me nuts. Lone Ranger was another one from the 10-inch from Gilbert Marks Hubley. Mego had a few of those. Big Jim, definitely had Big Jim. And a few various other figures. But G.I. Joe was my first action figure. And yes, the action figure was G.I. Joe. It's the original action figure by Don Levine. It was not Marty Abrams. Marty Abrams did go into the 8-inch scale and was very smart in making bodies with changeable heads and parts. That was his thing, and getting licenses for superheroes and things like that, which was a great thing to do. But he's not the father of the action figure or the modern day action figure. That's it right there. How do I get so lucky? Because I don't know, Brian Sanchez. Probably because I put up with your shit every day. Okay, let's get into it right now, Sanchez. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm joking. I don't know, Sanchez. I have a terrible habit of not sleeping. And late at night, I'm looking and, whatever. I told Brian and Dan that I wound up getting a flock to G.I. Joe. He's perfect. The action, it was the Man of Action. That's the one. These guys have to tell me what it is because I don't know. I have to ask them, like, what's what. The Man of Action, he's perfect. Nothing messed with his nothing. And he has the spy set, which is a mask and a whole bunch of parts. He has a suitcase you open and has a gun that you put together. And everything's perfect in it. I'm sorry, one of the hinges on the suitcase broke. That's it. It's perfect. I think I got it for $65. I think it was like $10 to ship or something. Like, then I went back and looked, and I'm looking at it for, I don't know, 100 and something, $200. I don't know, something like that. That capsule is crazy, though. I think, I mean, you saying it's a steal. I agree with you. After I asked those guys, like, is this like, legit and stuff? Because Sanchez and Gates have been helping me through a lot of this. Then I started looking on eBay at other stuff. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I saw a capsule by itself with the box. The box was nowhere near where that one was. It didn't even have the record, or did it have the record? I forget. But there was something messed up with it. The suit was messed up something. I mean, there's people like overcharged $700, $400, $500 for this thing. Even the remake that I saw that they put out, I don't know, maybe it was 20 years ago, maybe, and they did those remakes of the G.I. Joes. That thing's like through the roof. I saw that thing up there for $300-$400. I'm like, what? I said, what? So anyway, I just got lucky. Gloves are off. G.I. Joe, Captain Action, your first one. So Max, I never owned Captain Action as a kid. He was 60s. I don't know if they did into the 70s with him, and he's a great figure. I only got the remakes because they're affordable, and I never got into them. I mean, I would love to get into them, but the prices I just see go through the roof, and they do have some of the best costumes with that too. This is the best group because it includes G.I. Joe and plus everything else, including vintage. Yeah, David, I agree with you. We like this group. I mean, that's why we're here, and we want people to invite your friends in if you like and check it out. And you're going to see shit in there once in a while that you probably don't like any other group, but don't be afraid to post, your opinion on things. Or, hey man, I checked out The Mandalorian. The only thing I say is, like, if you're going to post something about a movie or a show, just keep in mind that some people might not have seen it yet, and maybe you shouldn't like give out the surprise ending to the end. Sometimes people lose their shit over that, but it's good. You can discuss anything you want. There's guys that discuss comics. There's guys that do uh, Rich and Martin, and some of the other guys collect costumes, all that kind of shit. I'm gonna put this here. I'll put up the website. Check out the website. I think I'm close to am I almost at 200 pages? I think on myamigalike.com. Lots of stuff. And one of the things I was really fortunate, I joined a couple other groups. I joined some G.I. Joe groups based on the recommendations of some of the guys here, and talking to them, and they've been like filling some of the gaps in that I don't know, and on top of what these guys are helping me with, and being actually showing them some of the stuff, saying, hey, if guys are talking about knockoffs and stuff, just, we have a really good group if you want to look at Migo Like on Facebook, or check out the webpage. And we've had some people coming in for that, which is really neat. So if there's something you don't like, just my advice, just browse over it. You know what I mean? No need to get all snotty and shit. People get all crazy on the internet. I don't know why. It's like, I bet if you sat in a room with 7 other people and somebody started talking about something you didn't like, you'd get up and walk away, or ignore them. You're not going to probably get up all in their shit, but people get a little brave behind a keyboard. So whatever, it is what it is. But to the corduroy pony, we are growing, and we are growing really well. And WS, it's terrible you're posting that it's a hate group. I hate seeing that stuff, that in other groups we're a hate group, and I don't know why. I guess you're not allowed to say that some of the products from New Migo are not your favorites. That's hate. Okay, whatever. So let's keep the good vibe going and discuss and all that stuff and enjoy. All right, so let me just go through this commentary. Let me see. Brian Sanchez does post the best memes. Matter of fact, Brian Sanchez, did you ever advertise so Brian Sanchez has a meme group. Do you still have that on Facebook, Sanchez? If you do, you should post the page up here where he just posts memes all day. Max, did you get that? No, Max, I did not get that off Facebook Marketplace. I actually bought that on eBay the day before yesterday and it arrived today. I couldn't believe it. He was in Delaware, I found out, so it was quick. G.I. Joe is the best action figure available. Oh, don't forget $6 Million Man. I had them too as a kid. Love them. You aren't reading the Facebook comments. I can't read them from here, Buck. Well, Buck, you might be able to. Are you on YouTube? I can't read the Facebook comments because if they don't permit their Facebook to allow Restream to do the comments, I can't read them from here. I have to go back and read. All right, let me go back and see if I can read some because they're probably coming in live, and I can't see them all. It's hard for me to catch up and do both. I guess I could bring up my phone. And there you were commenting on Facebook like a dope. No, you can do it. I just don't get to comment until after. So what I basically have to do is bring this up. So actually, David Eon asked me about what I use when we use Restream. But one of the things that Facebook does, it's really messed up. Like even for me to stream on Facebook, I have to connect it to my Facebook and permit it. But then Facebook requires you to like reconnect once a year or once every 6 months. It's so stupid. So if you want them to be able to chat, you have to put it on there. So let me see. I don't even know if I have it. There was a link here. There was a place here. I guess I got to put this up here so the chats will come up. Okay. So you guys can post comments. I should do that. I always forget to do that. But one of the things, let me see if I can do. Yeah, I don't see it here. I was trying to find a place where I could. Yes, there you go. So they come. All right. David, yeah, big surprise. Yeah, let me get rid of the graphic up top because I don't want you guys to. There we go. All right, there we go. Now you guys can. I think you guys can see the chat, right? So you'll see it up here. So the Kenner $6 Million Man figure are great, but the G.I. Joe figure is still better. So I agree with you, David. I think the Alexander. I think the G.I. Joes were just fantastic, and I mean we all know that Action Jackson was an 8-inch ripoff of G.I. Joe, right? I mean, there's no. Does anybody not realize that? Yeah, Facebook does blow. I agree. I really wish MeWe took off. We actually started Amigo like MeWe page, and we were on it, and it kind of lost some steam. And I'm hoping they are. I got contacted the other day about another platform that they wanted me to join, and like, oh, we'll pay you for it, to get it started. You just need to get 100 people in there, and I'm like, well, I got to do a little research. Let's see, corduroy. Yes, the corduroy pony book. That's correct. There you go. So there we go. So Cavor. So Let me ask this. So I'm not gonna even ask David E. Young because I'll have David, do you have a $6 million man and G.I. Joe? He's just yes. He's like, I got a whole wing of my house for that stuff. And I know David Alexander not only does the $6 million man stuff, but he does them in a customs with some of the other scale, and it's really, really cool. So Kavora, do you collect $6 million man and Bionic Woman toys? Do you have any of them? Because I know you guys do all the Star Trek stuff, but I was curious if you do that. Corduroy pony. I don't even know where that came from, Buck. That was something I was talking to somebody the other day, and it came up. And David says, perhaps. David, can you tell? Do you mind? I think I sent you a message, but tell LPH there's some WeWin toys boxed and carded on eBay the last couple of days. She probably will see them if she just searches WeWin toys. Those are the guys. Those are the 7-inch. The 7-inch Mego body Bible figures, not the 8-inch ones, but the actual little smaller ones. They're actually a little more, they look a little less comical. The faces are kind of more, I don't say realistic, but the Bible figures, the faces are kind of like cartoonish, kiddish, if you will. So, and there's going to be a delay when you guys post, I'm sure. So if you're answering questions and I haven't noted it yet, or you're posting and haven't noted it yet, it's probably because, it hasn't popped up yet. But as far as on the Facebook page, I can only imagine what Bucks do. All right, here we go. Let me go check out here. Marcus Aurelius, I see your post. Our group is entertaining. I like our group. I like our group too. I think it's very entertaining. I think everybody's very welcome here. Adventure Team, David Young, thank you. Love that. My parents were cheap. I got Fighting Yanks. Nothing wrong with Fighting Yanks, Buck. Some of the Fighting Yanks, they go for some moolah, man. There's definitely nothing wrong with them. I'm okay with the Fighting Yanks. You know what I mean? I think I don't necessarily collect them now because I'm kind of getting out of, kind of pretty much gone with Mego. I just got a few things. I like the 1 million BC figures, if you will. But there's nothing wrong with them. I mean, I don't know. I think today Fighting Yanks, some of them go for a fortune. I've seen them go quite a bit. Let's see. Not anymore. Okay. So Kavor, if you don't want me asking while you're here, because I was talking in there on my phone, as you probably know. Is everything you guys have pretty much Star Trek? I know some of the stuff you buy. I think Nara was telling me that some of the figures you buy, so you can customize them into Star Trek figures. You guys don't buy any G.I. Joe or any other stuff. Like, I'm assuming you would buy like the Barbie set that was the original Star Trek series. It had like basically the guy in the Captain Kirk shirt and the Barbie in the, I don't know, in the red dress and the yellow shirt. I'm assuming you bought those, but I'm guessing you don't buy other ones. You think it should be the Gelded Velvet Bone? Jesus Christ, fuck. Well, I was thinking about something, and I don't want to go into too far because we should always talk about toys more than people because that's what people that advocate that do. Yeah, it's funny how hypocritical so many people are in this thing. But I was thinking about something about that whole thing with that Big Jim style with the big Big Jim style haircuts used to have in the 70s with the big giant collars and all that stuff, and how crazy it is and what an interesting topic to pick. Nearly all Star Trek now. Okay. I can only imagine what your guys' collection looks like, especially since both of you collect that. And you guys, so for you guys that have not followed Nair and Kavora, they have a really, really great podcast. I mean, they do some really great stuff. You have to find them on Facebook. I thought I had it here in one of my captions one day. Do I have it here? I might not have it here because it only allows me to keep a few. All right. I might have to, what am I doing here? What is this? I don't know. There's all this like crazy shit you can do here. Now let me try something here because there's something here that Okay, let me see if this works. Ah, there we go. New feature. Hey, Migo like is now the lick. If you could see the if you see the scrolling ticker bar, it's new. All right, he's a pony, he's a pony, he's a corduroy pony. Nah, I don't mean to make fun, but some people love to bash others and they can't take it when somebody, pokes at them a little bit. They can't stand it. I've started to listen to the non-Star Trek Relay episodes. There's some really good stuff. We love doing the podcast. We love recording them so that Naren Kavora can put them together, and they put a lot of work into those guys. I mean, I know you think people just record it and they slap them together. It's not. It's not like that at all. They put a lot of work into it, and yes, yes, yes. I have so Rich and I have Maximus overnightus, who Maximus likes to sleep and drink beer and talk Batman and do Batman lives. So Max monitors all the podcasts and says, "Hey guys, we're on it. We're at 57 minutes and 12 seconds, and then we can go back and make sure we don't miss them because you guys put a lot out. They have a lot of good people. A lot of good people doing stuff. Sorry, Sir Lick Ponykins, Duke of Corduroy. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Yeah. So Migo like showing up on more than just our stuff now, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Nobody owns it. It's just a word. That's all. It takes me about 8 hours to edit. Yeah. So this is like crazy. It is funny. That's really funny, Sanchez. 8 hours to edit a 2-hour episode of the Atari 1500 podcast. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. For those of you guys who like Atari stuff, David Alexander does some really cool podcasts for Atari. They're fun to listen to. I didn't really get into podcasts heavily for a long time, and then we started doing these for Naren Kavora for Starpod Log, and they're really fun. They're fun to go back and listen, especially when they have all these different people talking from all over the place. There's a guy in there, I forgot what his name is, with a British accent. He's hilarious. He does it by himself. So we've got Max, Rich, and myself, and so we record it one of these live where we're doing live. We record it, and then we just pull the audio out of it and we send it to him. But yeah, I mean, some really crazy shit that goes on. I really need to post the ones because what we did was I was put them on private until the podcast came out because I don't want to give anything out early. Then once the podcast is released, then I'll release the video, and I have to do that because we've got everything from talking and trying to get, like, Max trying to get me to trip up by drawing a dick on a piece of paper and holding it up to the screen, or whatever. I have to mute my mic half the time because I'm laughing so hard while they're talking. It's too funny. That name is good. Yeah, I think so. It's going to be the Lick. Welcome to the Lick. And that's not my invention. The one thing about Migo Like that I always loved, and the one thing about the website when I started it, thinking like, I don't know if anybody's going to look at it, because back then the internet was early. It was 97 when I started it. And the internet only kind of got in people's homes off AOL like a couple of years before that. And it wasn't even popular to where it is today, where it's basically you have to live with the internet or your life is gone, I guess. But yeah, it was just people would send stuff, and that's how we get, like, even some of the categories that I was putting up on Migo Like at the time, I didn't even know existed. So like, I never knew about Tomlin until I saw Ray Castile's Gallery of Monster Toys, which is still there. I never knew about Space Academy until somebody sent me a picture. Like, I knew about them years ago. I learned, but when I didn't know what I know they made action figures. I didn't even know what it was. Matter of fact, Johnny Shedrick had to tell me what it was, which was a TV show, I guess, in the 80s or 70s, 80s. And I went back and watched it. It's actually pretty cool to watch. It's got Rich Hurley's favorite persona, Dr. Smith from Lost in Space, or what's his name? Jonathan Harris, is that his name? William, that one. I mean, so much stuff, these knockoffs. I mean, I had all the, the major stuff as a kid and a ton of Star Wars figures and stuff, but there's so many lines I've been introduced to. Lines, not lions. The last lion I got introduced to I had to bury because I had to jackhammer it when somebody hit it. But lots of stuff, even these Adder Planet of the Apes. I didn't know any of this stuff. I really didn't. Tons. Toy Biz I knew as they were out because you could go to the store and get them alive. I know. I love that site too, and it's such a shame. I had a good friend who took everything I did because I was writing it in Notepad. I was literally copying, pasting, writing links, HTTP, href. I was literally coding HTML like 2.0 on that website. Finally got a friend who had graphic art skills to do it, and it was really good. It was really good. He did such a nice job with it. And like I said, like a lot of the information was sent in from other people. People would send me emails. I would get emails. God, man, when I first put that site up, I was getting emails. I was on 2 to 4 hours a night during the week, like coding pages, and pictures and adding and pages, courtesy of Heath, courtesy of Buck, whatever. And then on the weekend, sometimes more. I mean, it was giving my life to that website, and it took off. And I was in like Toy Shop and a couple other silly articles, if you will, which was kind of neat. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But it was fun to share back then. But it was again, it was an experience for everyone, not just me to go, hey, look at this website I built. Aren't I great? Now pay me money so I can sell you what I got from other people. No. It was a collaboration from a lot of people. It really was. It was a collaboration. Everybody kicked in. And it was such a nice kind of thing where everybody came together. I mean, you got people from all over the world, I mean, to this day, Buck, I think I've known Buck since 1997 or 98. But we have never shaken hands in person, believe it or not. I didn't even know what Dan Camillo looked like till like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago. I think Dan Camillo, Doghouse Dan, Dinosaur Dan, Samurai Camillo. I had no idea what he looked like. I didn't even know what he did for a living. Now I know, and I wouldn't fuck with him. All that kind of stuff. But she said she got them all. Oh, wow. Okay. So so I'm just reading David Eon. So LPH, or Lady Pop Hunter, for those of you who follow Open by Chance toys with David Eon, and LPH, or Lady Pop Hunter, she's collecting some of the Bible figures, if you will, in the Mego style Bible figures, which Danny Gates, if you do a Bible figure, a religious figure, Danny Gates can't sit on the chat. It's hilarious. It's really funny. We did meet at the Meat Muck. We did. That was 2006, right? That was 2006, I think it was. But that Buck, I had hair back then, man. That was a long time ago, right? That was the old one, right? Yeah, that was the old one. It was 2006, I think we did that. Hours in chat. There was no video of this shit. We were literally chatting. It would just be a screws IRC, and we were chatting in there, and we had a lot of fun. We would just go in and jump in at night and just do shit. Who the hell's coming down? This better be somebody in my family, because if it's, oh my God. Okay. ¿Qué pasa? Give me 1 second. What's that? ¿Tú no lo ves? No, no lo ves. Es el cuarto. No, no está aquí. I don't know. ¿Dónde está la última vez? ¿Hoy? ¿Tú lo ves? No. ¿Cuándo es la última vez que tú lo ves? No sé. Posible es el carro porque yo no lo ves. Es rosa, ¿no? ¿Piensa de tu bolsa negro? ¿Tu carro? Sorry. This is what you get when you have other people in the house. I like this ticker thing going across the bottom. That's pretty cool. Great way to introduce it. Let me see, Buck, but we did, and I didn't. Let's see. Okay, hours in chat we did. Don't fall in the cult of company. The best stuff is being made by little people. Big companies don't care. They do what they think. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I have an IT company, and I think Dell Computer has been one of the worst places that they used to. It's funny because when I started, Michael Dell was barely out of his college room selling through a magazine, little tiny ad. Nobody knew who he was, and now they're huge, but they're not a really good company anymore. Okay, let's see. We did. What am I missing? You had Net Zero, Buck. Holy shit! I had exit109.com, which was it's a New Jersey Parkway exit for Red Bank, New Jersey. I sent shit in back. Too funny. Oh my God. It's crazy. So yeah. So anyway, so let me show you some of the model toy stuff. Let me get this. Actually, let's see if we can get, should we see if we can get the if we do the record, you might not be able to hear it with the mic. Let me see if I get the record going, or should we just do the model toys? Should we do the record another day? I don't want to make you guys get bored listening to G.I. Joe, but I thought it was cool. Maybe let me listen to it, make sure it's okay. Let me show you the model toys. I'm just going to make a little bit of room here. I'm terrified to touch these things now because they're, You know, they're so vintage. But let me show you some model toys. Oh my god, I almost tipped the fuck over. Shit, that would have been bad. All right, so before we get to those, hold on. Did any of you guys get these from McFarlane Toys? Did anybody get the South Park figures? I don't know if they're like Lego sets or something. I actually bought a bunch of these. I got Professor Chaos. I got the Human Kite. I think they were kind of cool. They're kind of funny. I haven't watched South Park in a while. Tool Shed. You know, all these little sets on the back. I don't know if anybody ever got them or opened them. I haven't opened them. They've been MIB, PC Principal, and Principal's Office. Thought these were kind of funny. We have Stan and Kenny at the bus stop. There we go. And of course, there's one thing I get at the basement. Cartman, Kyle, and Mr. Garrison in the classroom. And Mr. Garrison comes with Mr. Hat. So the one that I do need to get is Cartman, Kenny, and Token in Cartman's basement. That one. I don't know, I just thought they were kind of cool. I bought them years ago. Well, not years ago, but maybe a few years ago. All right. And they just happened to be on the shelf, so I'm rearranging. So I'm going to do a virtual walkthrough in the basement of Toy Room of Solitude in a little bit. So there's a couple things I'll show you. I found a couple neat things. As I was rearranging and moving shit around. And Max, I actually have a shelf over there that's 3/4 Batman. I was going to call it the Max Overnight Shelf because it's mostly Batman stuff. But I came across these, which I forgot I had. This is Action Jose, the Kung Fu Man. He was an 8-inch figure, kind of a Danny Dare style figure. 12 assorted dresses, which is the funny part. 12 assorted dresses for Action Jose. Now, if memory serves me right, and by the way, you got this guy. I don't know what kind of kung fu this is. It looks like he's more like, I don't know, dancing or something, but there's actually 13 of them. And I believe Vinny Sorbonne has all 13 of them. So that's the karate set, which comes with a breakable board like the Big Jim. This is the boxing set, which I really love. And then this one, which the corners are cut off, but I don't give a shit. It's the race car set. See, he's got the helmet and the trophy and everything. And look at the oven mitts. They're not really Mego oven mitts. They're actually different. Matter of fact, these are very short oven mitts, if you will, for boxing gloves. But I only have those 3, and I know there's like another 10. All right, so let me bring up the model toys figure. They made a whole bunch of them. There is a page on my Mego Like for them if you want to get more details on them. But let me kind of get these together, and I might have a couple pieces missing. So this is made by Model Toys, or I think it was Flair. He's called Daredevil, but he was basically Action Jackson. He's basically a 9-inch figure. He's got rubberish hands, almost like the Excel style grip on there, but they're rubberish, almost like a kung fu grip. They had a whole bunch of them. They did Western. They did a couple Western. They did military ones. And the grenades and the swords and all that shit I have in a bag over here just so I don't lose them. I'm going to get these guys on a shelf when I get some, and you can actually show what it looks like. Head sculpt. It's a pretty cool head sculpt. I mean, he's not really 70s like Big Jim. This is one of my favorites. Now, like I said, some of the parts are in the they're in the bag, and this is the knight, if you will, with his pike, and he's got armor. He's got a helmet with a visor, that goes up or whatever. Sword, dagger. He's very cool. There's other parts in there that he's just very, very cool figure. The parts, like the gloves for him for the armor, are rubbery. The shield itself, the armor on his body and the helmet are plastic, but the gloves are rubber, which is pretty cool. And then here's a shield for the knight, and I've got the Mexican bandit set. I have some boots. I have another military set, but you can see there's hand grenades in there. I've got the other trooper. One of them is a Union trooper, like a sergeant. The other one's just like a regular trooper. Swords and all this stuff's in there. I got a bunch of these in here. These are very hard to find. Very hard to find. Matter of fact, a real bitch is probably a better description for them. They, if I remember correctly, I think they came out of the UK, and they're very, very cool. They're hard to find. Like I said, not an easy set, but love them to death, and I'm making shelf space for them as we speak so we can get those together and so on. All right, let me see. Vinny does have all the cool stuff. He does. Okay. Let me go one second. Show us the models. Okay. Looking for the Star Blazers line from when I agree. David Alexander, did you hear anything about the Star Blazers line from Scott? I haven't heard a word from him. I feel like I haven't heard from him in a year. So, yeah, I know because Brian and I get into it. I don't know. I think he left me go like or something, but I'd love to buy his figures. I just haven't seen anything. Let me translate for a minute. Okay, Lou asked what's happening. She said, did you eat the frozen pizzas? Also, what happened to my Modelo Dark? She was looking for a notebook that she had. Okay, South Park stuff I have is the original statuesque ones. Oh, I didn't even know they made those. What kind of action was Jose into? That's an excellent question. I believe he was a toothbrush maker, Buck. I believe that's the case. Jose was a gigolo. That was his action. There we go. Vinny has all the good stuff. Those are neat. I do agree with you. Is that the same line that has that awesome Batman? No, it's not. The Model Toys is not the same line. It has the awesome Batman. Let me give you guys. Might as well do it because we're here. I think every time I do this, Charlie's like, there he goes, pimping his page again. And I am going to pimp it all day long. All right, give me a sec. Model Toys, Flare Toys. Okay. Now, there were some female figures as well. And the female figure actually was a complete, basically, redo of the, what you call it, policewoman figure, the skinny little body with the big head. And so on. Now, a couple of these things have shown up on eBay, and they did make a horse for these, which is a real son of a bitch to get. Let me see if I can show you guys my screen. I'll put it up here so you guys can see it. Actually, we'll do this. Put a caption up. Cancel this. Put a caption. Actually, I'll just put it in the chat. We'll just do it right here. There's the link if you want to check it out. I will share it with you. Hello, screen share, Chrome tab, model toy, share. Okay, let me bring it live. Let's turn it up. Okay, I'll bring this up for you guys. So, Model Toys Daredevil. He came in this really cool box, if you will. Basically, the character was on so the boxes were different. The box actually depicted the character that was inside. I know those pictures are a little small, but we have the 7th Cavalry Sergeant, which is one of the ones I have. Let's see. I think this is the Ranger. You can see it came with all kinds of different stuff. There was the Champion Show Jumper. I don't know how many kids were running out to get the Champion Show Jumper if you had the choice of this really cool Union soldier or this cool Indian Native American. They even gave him a wig to put over his head. The Mexican Bandit. This is the Indian Brave, the Cowboy, or, the Knight in Armor. I mean, would you rather have the horse jumper or the Knight in Armor? You could see he had all these different, I can bring these up. He had all these different things that he could do. This is what the Knight looks like. Mine has all those pieces. Here's the back of the box. Let's see if we can zoom in. So there we go. So it shows you all the kinds. So there's the Knight in Armor, the Mexican Brigand, the Champion Show Jumper, the Apache Indian Brave, 7th Cavalry Officer, the Indian Chief, the Jousting Knight. Now, the Jousting Knight was neat because I have the Knight in Armor. There's the Jousting Knight. He's the one with the axe and so here. And, okay, she found her book. Good. And they also made a horse. I'll show you in a minute. Let's see. The Mexican Brigand and the Mexican Bandit. They're actually different. The Wild West Outlaw, the U.S. 7th Cavalry Sergeant, the Marshal of the West. There also was Show Jumper of the Year. So Show Jumper of the Year was basically just the outfit with the trophy, I believe. And the Champion Show Jumper was a pack with a horse and Lightning. And here's Lightning, the horse, equipped for every Daredevil character. So this is Lightning, Daredevil's sure-footed horse, always wild and fearless, always obedient to Daredevil's command. Lightning comes equipped with a complete selection of saddles, bridles, and other accessories to go with every Daredevil character. So I believe, if I'm correct, these are out of the UK. Here we go. Made exclusive for Model Toys Limited in the Crown Colony of Hong Kong. So, that was before Hong Kong went back to China. So that's 70s to early 80s. I forget what year they went back exactly. Model Toys Limited. I'm sorry, Scotland. That's where they're made. They're made in Scotland. Okay, so let's not get that all messed up. If you need a geography lesson on the UK, Great Britain, and the individual countries, well, get on Google and take a look so you can see for yourself. There's a whole thing in there. Okay, Starblaze coming in all its 70s bottom glory, just not anytime soon yet. Okay, so we're still waiting on that. Okay, well, hopefully Scott will get a chance to do that yet. British poofs, prior collectors, probably. Yeah, I guess they were. Jesus, Buck, British poofs. Oh my God, you just caught me off guard with that, man. You just completely caught me off guard with that. That was just caught me off guard with that. Too funny. Too funny. Oh my God. Sometimes this page is just a trip. It really is. It's just a trip. Cracks me up. Okay. Anyway. Oh my God. All right. So I probably have to go back and read some of the Facebook stuff if they are posting on there because I haven't been looking. Oh, there's Roger Gilpin. Hello, Roger. How long have I been collecting? Sorry, guys. I'm a little behind in reading the Facebook post. So I started my original collection in 97. And the way that came about, there is a gentleman that's in this group. He never posts. He's a friend of mine, Frank. And I didn't know him at the time. But my wife at the time, my first wife, was I just got married. Or was I getting married? No, I just got married. And she says, hey, do you want to go to this show? You want to go out with my best friend, her husband? I was like, all right, whatever. So we go to this conference center thing. And it's an autograph show. I'm like, what do you do here? He's like, oh, Batman and Robin are going to be here from the TV show. You can get their autographs. I'm like, all right, cool. And Frank Gorshin, the Riddle, would be here. I didn't know. I mean, I knew the characters. I know the actors. I didn't know anything about them. I'm like, all right, cool, let's go. So we went. And while we're walking in there were some tables set up. And I saw what looked like Planet of the Apes figures in an 8-inch scale. Now, at this time, I didn't know what Mego was. I had no idea of Mego. Nothing. And I saw them on the table. I'm like, oh, these are cool. Was this like a garage sale? I'm like, all right. So it's like, how much for these? These are kind of cool. And my friend's like, do you collect those? And I'm like, collect? He's like, yeah, do you collect them? I'm like, no, I just thought they were cool. I had them when I was a kid. He goes, oh, well, people collect them. I go, what do you mean they collect them? He's like, they collect toys. They collect them, like a hobby. I'm like, I didn't know that. And that's kind of what like cracked my first look into collecting toys. So I figured, all right, well, let me buy these. I'm like, how much could they be? They're fucking old from the 70s. So I took out my wallet to take out like $4 or $5. And I was like, how much are they? He's like, oh, they're 100 and remember, this was 1997. He's like, oh, they're 115 each or 110 each. I'm like, what? I put my wallet away. I go, what? He's like, yeah. I'm like, dude, they're old and they're used. He's like, yeah, but they're really collectible. My friend's like, dude, this shit's really collectible. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. So at that time, I was like, well, I won't buy those, but that was neat. And I started talking to my friend. We got autographs. And we met Frank Gorshin and Julie Newmar and all that was cool. And we were talking more and more, and we started going around. He started showing me these like stores in New Jersey you go to where they sold comics and collectibles and stuff. There's not many of those left that do the toys too, but we went around and I started hanging out with Frank quite a bit. Well, at that time, my wife's parents were moving out of their home and they sold it to my brother-in-law at the time. And they kept everything. They were depression babies. They held on to everything. If he cut a piece of wood, there was this much of, he'd put it in the attic. He'd always have something. So my brother-in-law at the time, because I had been talking to him about, stuff. And at that time, Big Red Toy Box was a great auction site. I don't know if you guys know about it, but the Big Red Toy Box was a great auction site. And eBay was still in its early days. eBay was so new back then. I remember bidding and they bid so much they couldn't handle the volume of bids and they would crash. It's just like all the bids were fucked up. So long and the short is my brother-in-law calls me up after he gets in the house and we'd been talking about some of the stuff like Migos and stuff. And I remember I saw Flash Gordon Migos. And the reason for that is I went on the internet and I found out, my friend told me, oh, it's called Amigo. That's the company. So I started Googling Migo and I came across the Migo Museum. At the time that I came across that in 97, the Migo Museum had no chat rooms, none of that bullshit that the Scallions posting, any of that stuff, or the Corduroy Pony. It was just a website with galleries and figures and cool artwork that Scott had done at the time. Scott Adams at the time. And it was really neat. So I was like, this, and I started looking. I'm like, oh, these are cool. And I remember the monsters because I had Dracula. And I remember Frankenstein. I know they had a wolf and a mummy. I didn't have those. I remember Batman and Robin, the Joker. I had those. Then I started seeing the Western ones. I remember I had Wild Bill Hickok and all those. And then I started seeing like 1 million BC, Flash. I'm like, wow. And I'm like, what are these? And I start looking and looking and looking. And I thought to myself, I'll never find a Flash Gordon. And me go, this thing is so cool. And I remember looking for years and not being able to find one. Remember, this was 97. It was different back then. So he calls me up and says, hey, man, I found this box of old toys. Shoebox. So my old toys. And they think these are those Mego things you were talking about. So I was like, what? He says, you want them? I'm like, yeah. So I jump in the car and go straight to his house, like 25-minute ride. And he hands me this box. I open it. And sure enough, there was like 7, 8, 9, 10 Migos in there. And their clothes, some were on, some were off. They're all messed up. But I looked at them like Dracula's easy to recognize, right? And I'm like, holy shit. So he's like, I go, what do you want for them? He's like, just take them. You can have them. So I took them, and those were my first initial action figures. And I had not seen them in 20 something years, but I was able to piece them back together. One from memory, and two, whatever I wasn't sure, I'd just go on the Mego Museum and look. And again, there was no forums or any of that shit. But I did find an email list, the Levy list, where you would just sign up and they'd send an email, go to the group, and everybody would read it and then respond. And it was nothing like it is today. And I was on that. And I remember I was much shyer and much quieter back then. And there were some guys in there. There was a lot of nice people. And there was always the occasional dickhead bully that was in there trying to tell people how stupid they were and things like that and how they don't know anything. And one of them today is making toys and still treating people like that, unfortunately. I'm sure you can figure who that is. Anyway, so I started going and buying action figures on Big Red Toy Box. There was a guy in Pennsylvania I met, and I would buy action figures from him, and then he would pay me to list his stuff on a website. Like, he's like, can you do websites? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, if you list my stuff, I'll pay you. I said, well, don't pay me. How about you just put the money into a credit and I'll just buy figures from you? So he was, can we do the work and then selling me figures in exchange. And it was great. It was like an hour and a half ride, 2 hours. I'd drive out to a store. It was one of the coolest things ever. There were stores in New Jersey. We'd like Outer Limits. We'd drive and see what they had. And I started finding A-High, and I found Ray Castile's Gallery of Monster Toys. That's how I found Tomlin's and Azar Camways and Lincoln. And it just exploded. And as time went on, the internet grew, became, more available. So long or the short is, I've been collecting since 97. I collected for about 10 years. I bought this house. I had everything in the basement. This whole basement was like a glass cabinets with everything in them. I mean, you name it. It was like walking through. It's really cool. Then I got 7 inches of water in here, which didn't get to any of the action figures, but it got to the bottom of the cabinets. I bought it at IKEA for about, I think $65 or $75 a piece. It took me forever to put together. So I was like, fuck this. So I sold everything, or sold almost everything. And I started buying classic cars, and then got back into it in 2018 when Mego came back to Target, and the same guy, Frank, called me. He says, dude, there's Megos at Target. I'm like, what? And I went, and I was like, oh, this is the greatest thing ever, like everybody else. And for some, it's still great. And for some of us, we realize that it's just a big bullshit ploy. And then started collecting. And, everything that you see around me, for the most part, I mean, there's shit everywhere, all the way down there and all the way over there. And I mean, tons. There's thousands of action figures in here now they've collected over the last 4 years, and getting rid of the old Mego. So long story, but that's basically what happened, if you will. That was kind of it. So when I joined the Mego Museum, I was much quieter and much different. I didn't really know what was going on. I started meeting people, and you started learning personalities and so on. Yes. Those dickhead bullies are now moderators and fact checkers on Facebook, and some of them run rooms. And if you don't like what they're posting and you say, hey, that's not really my favorite figure, I think it could have been cooler if they did this, like if they painted the It clown with a red nose and didn't make Toto a flat piece of plastic on the Dorothy figure, you get kicked out. Yes, that's true. So the funny thing about when we were chatting is there was no pictures of anyone, and there was no voice. You would just have a name. It could be your name. My name back then, matter of fact, was It was Black Joker, BLACKJOKR. And I used that for everything. And somebody asked me once why my name was Black Joker. And it came up in conversation. And I just remember saying something like, well, I'm 6'8", like 300 something pounds, and I'm black. Now, you would think if somebody saw Lou Melodrama, they'd probably think like, that's not characteristic of a Melodrama name, right? It's more like a short Italian kind of thing. And when I went to Miko Meet to talk, because they invited me to come actually do a talk on knockoffs, it was really nice, actually. They were really nice about it. I showed up and they're like, "You're Lou?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like, "We thought you were." Yeah. No, I'm not 6'8". I was only about 5'10" and a half back then. Black, but it was spelled like this, Sanchez. It was BLACKJOKR. That's how I used to spell it. Kareem Abdul Melodrama. That's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. And it was really funny. And I remember meeting Anthony McElveen for the first time. And Anthony had the Jerry Garcia hair and beard. And I remember his pictures. I met Berto there. Buck, Berto, the Corduroy Pony. Who else was there? Oh, God, there was so many. There was a really cool guy that used to be in the group called Westwood. And when I ran the Migo like website, and some of the stuff is on the Migo Museum, you can still see some of my shits on Migo Museum, where the curator, as the scallion, if we will, oh, Lou's site's the best site ever, for that kind of stuff. It's really funny. Eventually he'll get rid of it. Buck, you sat through that presentation. It was knockoff figures, the other white meat or something like that. Yes, Davey MC. Oh my God, so many good people. But I remember Westwood used to make miniature weapons and stuff, handmade. They were absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Guy was amazing. Yeah, it was fun, With time change and things like that. Yeah, art. Oh my God, dude. There were so many cool people back then. What happened to, oh my God, what was his name? Bear with me. Phil Nobile. Whatever happened to him? And who's the guy that lived in Benson? Rob Chatlin. We got invited. Rob Chatlin said, "Hey, if anybody's in the area of Bensalem, PA at the time, you can come by and check out my collection." Because Rob Chatlin used to buy things mint and box on card, and then he'd open them and display them. They were mint perfect. It was just crazy. Corey Woods. Yep. Corey Woods. Yep. Those were the days. But anyway, I'll give a little tour of the room and a little, maybe not tonight. I'm getting a little tired and I got to get a little more things cleaned up, but it's looking good. I'm very happy and I've run out of room again. I don't know where I'm going to put this, but I got to go talk to Danny G and ask him where I'm going to get that stand, or I guess I could look for it on eBay, but I think Danny G knows. We got to get some stuff out there. What I have done a little differently is I bought some 3M hooks. I mean, sticking aside, I think only, let's see if David Eon would get it. Let's see if he can see, but you can see those over there. Where are they? Right there. Wait, where am I here? Right there. So it's so those David Eon and the one above it, right there, Durham figures. I just couldn't keep them like properly stacked. So I bought these hooks, 3M hooks, stuck them to the side of these things, and I'm gently hanging them up so that they're they're well guarded, but not that helps with the loose ones in any way. But I do have some things. Actually, I have some figures from Tony May. I keep forgetting. I need to give them away. Tony May, they were supposed to go for what would have been our first get together, if you will. Time just slipped away from me, and I'd really love to do that next summer, or if anybody's interested in doing it. I think some of you guys have expressed interest. I'd like to put a get together, and not a knockoff of Migo Meat or anything like that. Just our own thing. We can all hang out and be cool and do whatever we want, talk to each other. There's no heroes here or anybody that's more important than anybody else or celebrities. It's just a place for us to all come and, get together and hang out. Sorry. And let me just reply to this, and have our own thing. And I think that would be a lot of fun. And it would just be a good time. It's tough. I know we're not all mobile or easily mobile. And so, we could have a kegger here. It's big enough. You guys could all come here. Trust me. It's All right, I've had upwards of, well, let's just say a lot of people here and haven't even come close to filling the driveway. But if somebody hits my other line, I'm going to be pissed. The No Migo Ambassador, the No Migo Ambassador Club. Yeah, the funny thing about, it's funny. Stankus used to talk about this back in the day. The idea behind ambassadors is that you have people in your group that are out there advocating for you. But usually what they do, places like NECA and so on, is that if you advocate for them, for you, like send you a free figure or something like that, and I don't think that's ever happened with Migo. I don't think, maybe, I don't know, not that I can remember, but sorry, so tired. But yeah, it was just basically, hey, you're an ambassador. No, you're just invited to our fan club, and if we don't like what you say, we'll just shit on you. Damn shame. The funny thing is that company could have been so amazing, and they just, it blows me away how stupid people can be. They just don't get it. I get they have their own agenda to do stuff, but wow. If I was doing that, I would have made it amazing. First thing, customer service. Second thing, listen to your clients. Third, be nice. It's so easy to be nice. It's such a dick move to be nasty. I mean, keep being nasty and watch what happens. Amigo like will keep growing. But let's just say this. Everybody, how dare you expect compensation for the privilege of growing it? Yes, that's true. You're absolutely right, David Eon. You're absolutely right. That is absolutely correct. This comment is absolutely beyond just there. And as Sanchez says, that's as you allow the lunatics run the asylum. 100% correct. But this is what you get. I mean, it is what it is. Listen, they do it the way they want, and if they want to do it their way, do it their way. But don't get pissed if people don't want to, be there or join or whatever. People say, hey, not for me. But yeah, so we're happy to have everybody here. And I'll set this up public. They are all welcome to come in. Yes, including the including Corduroy Pony and any of his team over there. They're all welcome to come in. We have no problem with them coming in. Because when you're honest about shit, it's just honest. It's just talk. But if you can't take a little honesty and you can't take a little constructive criticism, then yeah, it's probably not for you. Yeah, banning people from the museum. And it's funny, Buck, because you wouldn't have been banned from the museum when there was no chats or anything like that, right? Everybody could just go and look. It's basically admiring Scott Adams' work. Anyway, it basically worked. Well, yep, I agree with you, Sanchez. It's that woke thing. Yep, understand. Well, eventually that'll be happening. Well, the good thing is I'm getting admitted to Canada soon. So they had the triple COVID thing and they're taking that away because it's an election year apparently in Canada. So we couldn't get over to do work. And for the 3 days of work for the amount of money we're going to make, it was a shame. But now they're changing that. So it looks like we'll be able to get over there. I don't know, maybe him and I could sit down and talk toys or something. Just kidding. Listen, everybody's welcome. It's toys, people. Like, let's be realistic. It's fucking toys. Let's just enjoy it. We're not here on this earth long enough to cause stupid shit like that. And let's just enjoy it. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, go out. Please check out all these guys' YouTube pages and podcasts. Please check out Star Pod Trek and Star Pod Log, if you will. Please check it out. Nair and Kavor are fantastic. If you never met them in person, If you never met them in person, you need to. They are absolutely two of the coolest people ever. And like I said, they used to be basically fans and now they're celebrities. They talk all over the place. They go all over talking, just experts in their field and just nice people, really nice people. It's so nice to bump into nice people. It really is. It's fantastic. And there he is. There's Nair showing up as Sarek. Oh, there we go. So let's do some plugs. So Nair and Kavor do Star Pod Log, Star Pod Trek, and we do some of the sessions with them, some of the podcasts, which are fantastic, and they're very nice people. Brian Sanchez is coming out with, is it going to be YouTube, Sanchez? I think he's doing his own YouTube channel. I want to make sure I get this right. I don't want to fuck. Sanchez and I bust balls, but I want to make sure this is right. It's important. Is it YouTube, which Sanchez is going to do Toys in the Wild? And he's going to be doing all kinds of cool shit with all kinds of cool shit. Just Sanchez is he's got a good personality. Yes, YouTube. Okay, so Brian Sanchez, Toys in the Wild. Brian, do you have a date when you're doing that yet? Can we direct people there? Or you're just going to post it when it comes closer? Check out Lou's new venture, my knockoff toys that were stolen by a Canadian MoMA. Fuck, you're too much, man. You're too much. I heard there was a Judah Maccabee session. Somebody told me. I'm like, I'll have to go check that out. I'd love to hear about Judah Maccabee. Okay, Sanchez is going to post when he goes. Okay, who else we got? Dr. Durant's Sanctum by Richard Hurley. Open by Chance, Vintage Toys by David Eon and LPH. MIB Master Toy Museum with Johnny Shedrick. Don't let me miss any people. Start throwing them up there. Who else is doing YouTube? Ray Castile's Basement of Horror. Hold on, let me look at my stuff. I may probably have let's see. I love this guy, Toy Polloy. Anybody ever see this guy, Toy Polloy? ToyPolloi. He does a lot of great videos on how to fix stuff. He's fantastic. Clemso actually has a channel. Clemso, Clemso. He's actually on our Facebook group. He's fantastic. He's got some really good stuff. He did a great video on the Cheppy Ratty, Jimmy Brown, Blackjack, and Tommy Wright in Mundo Aventuroso. There's another one, That Junk Man. He's funny. He's got like 29,000 subscribers. That Junk Man does all kinds of toy stuff too. What else we got in there? Oh, we got quite a few. Star Pod Log, Star Pod Trek. We have that. We have, oh my gosh, there's so much cool shit in here. There really is. There's a lot of cool stuff. If I missed anybody, forgive me. I apologize. I'm a little tired and so on. They were close. Yes, they were close. Did Lou have relations with Momo? Very nice. Very nice. You guys are cheesy. What am I missing? Make sure you check out the Final Faction Toys page by Gilbert Rodriguez. There's a lot of guys in our group. Matter of fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go into our group right now. And I'm going to say community home. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's post. I want to post a little something. Hey, everyone. If you have a YouTube channel, a Facebook page, would like to promote something, YouTube page, Facebook page, podcast, would like to promote something, please put it in the comments below. I'd love to learn of new pages, sites, and podcasts. And share. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to post that. So hopefully people will post their stuff on there. My God, why does it take so long to post? Okay, post that stuff on there. We really want you guys to get your stuff getting on there. Oh, damned autocorrect. That sucks. Oh, Stankus. Oh, man. I miss Stankus. I really do. It's such a shame what happened. But what are you going to do? Life goes on. Yeah, shit goes on for people. It's a shame. It really is. It's a shame. It's a shame. What else we got? Oh, Classic Dan. Classic Dan. Is that it? Or Dan Classic Dan or Dan Classic? Dan Classic. Dan Classic. Yeah, Dan Classic. He's funny. He's like, look at this piece of shit. And he opens up. He says, look how great this is, but this is a piece of shit. And he just rips it off the. He's fucking hilarious. The Dan Classic Show. I think that's what it is. He's hilarious. And then there's Pixel Dan, who I haven't really watched Pixel Dan, but I hear he's quite famous. But there's a lot of stuff out there. Hopefully coming soon. Stallions. No, plaidscallions.com. That's right. A true venture into the onion. That's correct. Anyway, let's see. Lou is going to marry Stankus. They're going to be dressed as stormtroopers. Lou is going to be the... Fuck you, Sanchez. Jesus Christ. Dan Classic. He does. He destroys them, man. But then you can watch Toy Polloi, Toypolloi. Just Google him. He'll show you how to fix them. He's funny. I watched Toy Polloi do one. I think it was him where he opened up the Ultraman figure as soon as it came out. As soon as he opened, the fucking hand fell off. He's like, what the hell? Too funny. Too funny. Oh, my God. Too much shit going on. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here because I've been here for an hour and 20 minutes, which is an hour and 19 minutes more than I should. Oh, you guys are just getting... Buck, that's fucked up. Now you owe me a fucking Godzilla. Godzilla custom Felonious Fabrications Godzilla creature to go up there. I need to do some more. I need to bring up my Slee Stack and my Swamp Monster because he won't call it Creature in the Black Lagoon from Felonious Fabrications and bring those up here. And Professor Lou and his nemesis, the pool shark. So if you guys never saw, I did such a long video. It was like a 2 hour. If you guys never saw the playset that David Gunn made for Memoryverse, or him, the Bee Gees, the Brothers Gun, as I call them, took this whole Toy Room of Solitude before I changed it to what it is today. It was a little different. And they made a playset out of it, a vinyl playset. And they shipped it to me. And fucking unbelievable. Like I'm going to do another episode on it. It's on mymigolike.com, but I'll do an episode on it. It's got all kinds of cool Easter eggs in there, but part of it was built around Buck had created a Professor Lou figure. I think I did a live and I said, somebody make a action figure, and Buck made a Professor Lou figure, and he's fantastic. He's just fucking awesome. But I have this terrible fear. It's called galleophobia, and it's a fear of sharks, or sharks in a pool more specifically, which is absolutely ridiculous, but that's what it is. And he made Professor Lou's archenemy, the pool shark, and it's a 8-inch like Amiga with a shark head on it. It's got a fucking like an apron on that says "Kiss the Cook." It's too funny because it's like, summertime by the pool. It's too funny. Oh my God, you guys are so bad. All right, I'm getting out of here. Anyway, let's put up the graphic. So, because I love these guys came up with it, and David Gunn designed it, which is, let me get rid of the caption on there. Okay, there we go. Lou's Toy Room of Solitude, the man of ill repute. I did that. Yes, I did do that. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. I hope you guys had a good time. Please join us again. Oh, God, please make sure, I almost forgot. Please make sure you check out Max Overnighters lives on Facebook. Max does a really good job. From a guy who said, I don't think I'd ever do that. I don't know what to do. Max has just been fucking killing it. He's doing a great job. There's so much good. There's so many talented people in our group. There really are so many talented people. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. And thanks for joining. Talk to you soon. The Lick, baby. It's the Lick.